So this is weird. Well, I'm Abby, as a lot of you know. And gosh, I have been on this website for 5 years. It's been a long time, and this is the first time any of you have heard my voice, and maybe the first time some of you have actually even seen my face, because I don't actually put it out there a whole lot. But yeah, oh my god, hi, hello. So yeah, some of you probably know me as just Captain-Sodapop on Tumblr, and That Was Enough on FFN and Archive of Our Own, but that's really just where I put supernatural stuff. But I have literally a shitload of questions to get through. I'm not kidding, it's like 2.5 pages. 53 questions, I think, because of course I counted them. So thanks. I also some of them I've just kind of like I've had in my inbox for a little while, and I'm just kind of cleaning them out. But I think I need to get started because I have no idea how long this is gonna take me to get through. Yeah, you guys are you're very curious and you ask really good questions. I'm very excited to answer them. And so let's get started. The first one is, do you enjoy writing about The Outsiders? And yeah, I do. I would not do it if I did not, and God, I've been doing it since 2012 or 13. I mean, I read the book in 7th grade, November of 7th grade. Actually, this is the copy I got in 7th grade. So we all got to keep it. Thanks, Mrs. Harding. So I brought this to college with me. That's how much I fucking love this book. And yeah, I really enjoy writing about these characters. They are just really, the characters I think are the best part of that book. And I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I enjoy writing for The Outsiders. And then who is my favorite character? That's always a really tricky question for me, because my URL says one thing and my stories say another. It's honestly a fucking tie between Soda and 2-Bit probably, but I have such a soft spot for all 7 of them, each guy. Johnny I didn't like at first. I don't know what was wrong with me. 80s men's probably gonna kick my ass for saying that, but now I like him. Now I like him. He's like a little the way we portray him, he's like a little sass master, and I love him. He's still not my like I love them all equally, but like he's still not like my number one. I mean, I was sadder about Dallas's death when it happened in the book and in the movie. In the movie, I can sometimes barely even watch that. I actually sometimes skip the death scenes because it's just too much. I'm not a crying person, but I'm a very just like curl up in the fetal position or lie comatose face down and just think about it. But yeah, I mean, I think 2-Bit's my favorite to write for, just because he's funny, and I like to write funny stuff for him. I think I like to think of myself as being kind of humorous, but I don't know. So we'll say that. But like, Derry's like, daddy, I need to shut up. Alright, here's a good one, and I get asked this a lot. Analyze the relationship between Pony and Dallas. Well, from the book, we know that Pony Boy, not only does Dallas scare him, he's afraid of him. He does not like him, but he respects him because he's like, oh, I have to respect him. Or he'll kick my ass. and he's just part of the group of guys he grew up with, which I understand. So and Dallas probably, I mean, we know he's glad that he didn't, he's glad he didn't kill him, he saved him from the fire in the church, which, I think is a pretty low bar, but, I think Dallas respects Pony, partly large part because he respects his older brothers and sees probably Derry as a threat, but I think they have a mutual respect for each other and they have each other's backs, but I don't know if they really like each other all that much, which it happens. You can love and care for someone and not like them at all, or have periods of time or things about them that you don't like. I've definitely experienced that. So I have more questions about the relationship that I'm going to get to later, so I don't want to talk too much about it right now. What did Dally think of jockeying? Well, apparently it's the only thing he did honestly, so I think he probably thought he was pretty good at it, and, which, I mean, he probably was. And so I guess if he's doing something honestly, he probably likes it and wants people to know he can do it well without any external help. I don't know how you would get, how do you cheat at that? I don't know. I don't know much about horse racing at all. I watched the Kentucky Derby, but I don't know. Alright. I'm going through these pretty quickly. This is fine. I feel like we're going at a good pace. What was my impression of Dally in Greenlight? I love talking about Greenlight, and I love Cat. I could probably talk about it all day. My impression of Dally in that story, perfectly in character. We know so little about these characters because we got one book about them, and it's pretty short. You could read it in a day. So Dally's an asshole, and in Greenlight he's an asshole. I think she just did such a good job with his character, and not just staying true to him, but making him even more complex than he was in the book, and definitely the movie. We see him developing relationships. We see him at times caring a little bit about his performance, because he eventually gets to the point where it's like, oh, I don't want to go back to jail. And I'd say that's, character development. he kind of cares now. I mean, and we see at the end that, he graduates, he gets through it, and he comes to a mutual respect with Ella, and I'm very interested to see where their relationship goes, and I know you all are. So I just think Kat did a great job with him in that story, and I can't see what else she's planning to do with him. I know for a fact that, well, not for a fact, but I think that Wild Night is a little more about Ella and a little less about Dally, but Dally's still in there a lot. So all you hate sex shippers, get ready. But then conversely, how do I view Book Dallas? Again, he's an asshole. Someone you like as a character but probably wouldn't like as a person. I mean, he fucking jumps kids and old people. What a dick. But he's a very he's a very round character. A dynamic character isn't just he changes. He's a dynamic character in Greenlight. He's a round character in The Outsiders. He's not perfect by any means. None of them are. She does a really good job with, Hinton does a really good job with characterization, I think, and even Steve, but I think we do better with Steve than she does. I mean, this is the woman who said she has no opinion on him because she wrote him 50 years ago. Bitch, 50 years from now, do you know how much I'm gonna have to say about Bridget Stevens? I could talk about her forever. But Buck Dallas, I think he's really complex. I think he's interesting. You're drawn to him immediately. I mean, right off the bat, Pony calls him the character of the gang. Like, he is, people know him around town. He's got a reputation. So I think automatically readers pick up on that. And it's like, oh, he's a jerk, but I become very interested in him. And that's why you care when he dies, because his relationship with Johnny and Pony, but mostly Johnny especially, makes you be like, oh, he's got layers. He's like an onion, just like Shrek. I hope that's the only Shrek reference I make in this video. Alright, moving on. Why did Dally want the gang to see him die, and what was the importance? I don't know if he necessarily wanted them to see that, but I think he was acting extremely impulsively. The night that happened, the night Johnny dies, the night of the Rumble, he is acting irrationally and animalistically. He is so emotionally compromised. Probably, I mean, watching people die is fairly traumatic, even if it's fairly peaceful. I mean, Johnny was clearly in a lot of pain, but he was so young, and Dally cared about him so much. I feel as if he was just being completely impulsive, and I think his choice to die was very in the moment. I don't think he was thinking of doing that even when he called Derry. I think if the guys had gotten to the lot before the cops had, it would be very different. But I think it was just timing. I think it was just impulse. I think he was just like, fuck it. And I remember when train. I remember when okay, it's gone. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's annoying. What the fuck was I saying? Right, okay. When we read this in 7th grade, my teacher, her husband was a cop, and she's like, he told her that, police are trained when a gun is fixed on them to shoot, and there's no way in hell Dally didn't know that. So, cops are there, and that's just, I don't know, that's just what he did. The importance of it, though, is that, like I said earlier, that would be fucking traumatizing to see one of your best friends shot and another one has died in the same night. So, as a literary function, I think that night is supposed to be like, oh, the 5 of them that remain aren't going to be extremely different from now on. They are irrevocably changed by the events that happened that night. It doesn't matter that they won. They are 5 individual people, and I think Pony really talks about that a lot. It's like, oh, none of the 5 of us belong here doing this, fighting with these hoods. He views all 5 of them as having potential and a future, and so the win becomes very unimportant. What's important is the traumatic event that they witness and the death of their 2 friends, and yeah, that's the importance of that moment. Alright. Why does Dally care so much about Johnny but not Ponyboy? I disagree. He does care about Ponyboy, but he probably does care about Johnny more. Just because he's fucked up. But Johnny's the gang's pet, and they talk about that a lot, and they're like, oh, 2-Bit says we can't get along without him. But in truth, it's just Dally that can't. But he cares about Ponyboy. He was glad he wasn't dead. See? That's caring about him. Alright. What are my thoughts on 2-Bit? Bitch, you just opened up a can of worms. Well, obviously, I've written 3 novels about this asshole. I wish they included more of him in the movie, and Steve, but in the book, I don't know, he was just, he really is funny, and it pisses me off when, bad writers, or at least humorless writers, give him the shittiest jokes. Like, he's supposed to be clever and witty. Just because he's still in school doesn't mean he's a total idiot and that he's not, like, quick. So that's what I try to give his character. But I think he is more complex than people give him for. He doesn't want to fuck Mickey Mouse, which is why I have never mentioned that character in any of my stories, because I'm done with it. I'm over it. He's probably dependent on alcohol just because he's been through a lot, so he's probably an alcoholic and becomes one in the future. But not like a shitty one. I don't know much about that. I should shut up. But I think he's got a lot of depth, and we see his range in the book. In the movie they cut a lot of him out, but we see that he cares about all of his friends a lot. He understands the situation that's going on around them. Pony thinks he's wise, because he's 18 and a half. I'm 19 now, and I can tell you he's probably still a dumbass, because I'm still a dumbass. But I don't know, I just really enjoy him. He brings a lot of comic relief to the story. I don't know. Those are my thoughts on him, and I feel like I have more to talk about, to be honest. A lot of my thoughts on him are connected to Bridget, because I'm a writer. We all fucking care about our writing more than, especially in fan fiction, we care about our writing and what we bring to the table and how it elevates. So, and I always feel like I'm on the defensive, like I have to defend why I included her and why I include all these versatile characters, because I have so fucking many. Okay, here's one. What prompted me to write For Their Flowers? Well, I've been wanting to write a Ponyboy-centered story for a long time, and I've tried a couple that haven't really worked out. But in my timeline of events, that school year that Pony's in, where he writes his theme, is the 1966 to 67 school year. And as a lot of people know, 1967 is a summer of love with all the hippie counterculture in San Francisco. I wrote a little something about it, which basically becomes a chapter in For Their Flowers, so you'll basically be seeing it. But I wanted, because the book almost gives off a 1950s vibe. I feel like greaser is kind of an antiquated term, even in the decade of the book was written in. I don't know I don't really know how long they used that term, but I feel like they're almost in this bubble, and like Elvis was drafted in 57, and he started recording in 54, so there's about 3 years of him being active and recording on the road, and the book takes place in 65, 66, depending on what you want to believe, and that just feels really late for that greaser Elvis culture for me, because I'm a big Beatles fan, and I'm like, okay, 1965, 66, we're starting to get into the Rubber Soul, Revolver era, and they have become really big, so I don't know why the fuck they're so behind, but, I mean, it's clearly after 1964, to me, but, anyway, back to my story. So, Don't Think Twice, Sins of the Saints, ends right at the beginning of the summer of 1967, and I'm like, okay, this is the summer of Sgt. Pepper's, this is the summer of love, it's just all about that hippie counterculture, and I want to see how Pony and his friends and family react to this, and how they change with the times, and where they're at after the events of the book, because I have the events of the book in November of 66, so they're about at the beginning of Flowers. It's about 8 months later, which is actually The Outsiders takes place about 8 months, I think, after their parents have died. So it's kind of like, I guess, a next logical step. And the title for Their Flowers comes from this quote by June Jordan. She is a poet. It's from her collection of poems called Passion, and these were all written between 1977 and 1980, so I think it came out around 1980. But here's a quote. When we heard about the hippies, the barely more than boys and girls who decided to try something different, we laughed at them. We condemned them, our children, for seeking a different future. We hated them for their flowers, for their love, for their unmistakable rejection of every hideous, mistaken compromise that we had made throughout our hollow, money-bitten, frightened adult lives. So I emphasized the line, we hated them for their flowers. Obviously, for their flowers is the last part of that quote. That whole line was originally the title of the story, but I shortened it up a bit, made it a little more concise. But that whole quote, we haven't gotten to it yet, but in the story, Ponyboy, I mean, we've met Howard Long, but he comes across some adult figures in his life, and as we'll see as the story progresses, he's kind of learning what it really means to be an adult, a man. I think Derry and then his father are his best two examples of that, and maybe a couple teachers, maybe Mr. Syme, I don't know, but this is him not only expanding as a person with the direction of the country at this time, but also just his own continuing coming of age story, and dealing with mostly adult men and some women, but just how his relationships and views on adolescence and adulthood change, and his views on how things in his setting and where he lives are changing. Like, it talks a lot about how there's less of the feel of the divide by this point, like the rivalry I can't talk, from about from last year is mostly behind them, and she talks about that too, and that was in This Is Now, how socias are like, they're hippies now. And we'll see that with Bridget. She starts to go in that direction. So that was kind of the inspiration for that. That's what prompted me to write it. It's basically, I've had some people say it actually feels like a sequel to the book for them, and that is really flattering, because that was kind of what I was hoping to go for. Alright, so how are Bee and Two-Bit different in For Their Flowers versus Don't Think Twice? Well, in Don't Think Twice, at the beginning they fucking hate each other, and they gradually become friends, and then they become lovers. Well, they start to pursue a relationship by the end of that, those two stories. So in For Their Flowers, we're seeing them right at the beginning from an outside perspective. They are pursuing a East Side, West Side romance. It's like West Side Story, but nobody dies, and it's mine, so I like it better. But they are trying to make a relationship between the two of them work. They are trying to figure out what exactly it means and how people are going to view it, and they're trying, I think Two-Bit kind of played the field. So he's trying to figure out what it means to really be loyal to someone, while Bridget is trying to figure out what it means to even be dating someone still. Like Jerry was her first relationship, so this is her still trying to navigate what it means to be, they're both trying to figure out what it means to be really, truly romantically involved with someone, and what the give and take is there, what the sacrifices are, stuff like that, and what the benefits are of it. So they're trying to figure that out, and she in Flowers is trying very hard to impress her boyfriend's friends, because she doesn't want to be seen as a threat to them, because the guys she's in love with, these are the people he cares about and sees as family and has known them way longer than he has her, and she's like, she wants to make a good impression. She kind of knows all of these people individually a little bit, except for Derry. Derry has met her once. Steve doesn't really like her when he meets her, because of her relationship with Evie, his girlfriend. Soda likes her. He's got a crush on her. But they're friends, and I'll talk a little bit more about them later, the two of them. And then she and Pony were in school together, and they get along, but she wants to impress them on the whole. So there's that. And conversely, Two-Bit has to impress her dad, and I don't think he really ever does. Like, her father comes to accept him, but he's just very blue collar. We'll leave it at that. So they're trying to figure that out. Alright, what is my honest opinion of Ella and Dally being together? Do I, as a writer, have any thoughts on this? How would it affect both of them? As a writer, I like it. I don't care if it goes either way. My honest opinion of them is, in the long run, I don't see it working out at all. But I could see it being a very educational experience for both of them if it were to happen for even a brief period of time. But Wild Night doesn't come out till Wednesday, so we're just going to wait and see, guys. And God, if it's as long as the last one, good shit. What inspired Don't Think Twice? Well, I loved this book and this movie so much. I was like, I just want to write about it. I just want to play in this universe. I mean, I was 13, so my early attempts sucked. But it's shares a title with the Bob Dylan song "Don't Think Twice." It's alright. Which I love. I'm a big Dylan fan. And I think I just wanted for there to be a story where there is a girl who was real, not a Mary Sue character, and I didn't want it to be the typical kind of East Side, West Side story, because there's a ton of those, but I wanted it to really include I want to see a story where the consequences were really discussed, realistic consequences. I wanted to see the emotional consequences of that, and I want to explore the social side of stuff. Like Vicky, she's born out of me wanting to explore the upper class a little bit more. She's basically Regina George. She's terrible, but all of us, everyone in the BP, we love writing her. She's such an asshole, but I just want to see a story with a happy ending, actually. And I wanted to see a story where you see it play out. It doesn't happen like that. It's not like a Romeo and Juliet thing. I wanted it to make sense. And I just have this character, and I'm like, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna write this. And then connected to that one's by Bridget Stevens. Well, she's named after Bridget from Sisters of the Traveling Pants. I can tell you that right now. But I wanted to do the social grace or love story. And I just wanted to make someone who was the antithesis of Two-Bit Matthews, and she's that. And it is a situation of opposites attract, but they share their morals and stuff. But I just wanted to make someone who is, I definitely have an influence on her because I created her. Bits of me are part of her, but she's fairly different from me, and I just wanted to develop a character that made sense with him, that is his opposite, but they still work. Like, they can play off each other, they understand each other, they're attracted to each other, and she's kind of okay with that. How did I develop her character in relationship with Two-Bit? I've already touched on this a little bit, but I just tried to make her as round and dynamic a character as I could. So I spent that first story just everything is from her perspective. She's navigating this whole new situation. She's got that interesting outsider perspective, and she also suddenly has, because of her socioeconomic standing, elevated social standing in school, and she doesn't know what to do with it because she's never had that before. So she's really a fish out of water, and a lot of her choices and a lot of her experiences are influenced by that. And when it comes to her relationship, this is a girl who has entered her first relationship at the beginning of the story with Jerry Thompson, someone in her socioeconomic circle, someone who is in her friend circle. He's a football player. He's like a big deal, and people know Two-Bit, but he kind of for all the wrong reasons. So I wanted to develop them as starting off as knowing nothing of each other, but very surface things, and that's what creates that animosity. And then the events of The Outsiders happens, and they start to be like, oh, we've both been affected by this in some way. And like I said earlier, he is irrevocably changed. He has to be. So the events of that book kind of affect their outlook on each other. It's like, oh, so we know a lot of these people involved with this situation. Everyone's kind of realizing that it shouldn't have gone this far, and that these are very surface level observations and judgments we've made on each other, and that's how they become friends. And there's definitely an attraction between them, even when they don't like each other. So that friendship just enhances that, and by the end of the story, they are together. Over the course of a year, they've basically fallen in love with each other, which I don't think is too unrealistic. I mean, it's fiction, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. What is my opinion on The Outsiders? I love it. Moving on. What's my favorite scene in the book or movie? Oof. I really like the scene where he comes home and he's reunited with his brothers, and then we see that next morning, and Steve and Tuit are there, and they're just kind of together, and you can see them interacting with each other, and they do come across as brothers. I love it. So yeah, both in the book and the movie, I think that's my favorite scene. I think my second favorite scene is probably the one where he, at the end of the book, where he smashes the bottle, and he and Steve are like telling him not to get tough, and then he's picking up the glass. I think that's so sweet. I love it. But yeah. Okay. Will there be other stories with Bridget as the narrator? I hope so. I don't know. I don't have plans right now. I have this Brother Flowers and Just Pony Boy, World's Most Ordinary Wedding, which is their kids, Lee and Mary. I have tons of one-shots. I don't remember if any of them are from her perspective. And then I have a story that's going to be coming out probably much later, that's from the perspective of 2-Bit's little sister, Sadie, that takes place in 1972. 71, 72. So her freshman year of high school. And I'm excited about that one. But I have almost no work done on it, and that won't be out for a while. But it's coming eventually someday. So the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, but I don't know when. So keep your eyes peeled. Favorite stories on FFN? You could just go through my favorites list, but Greenlight, My Brother's War is dark, but I love it. The Trip, love that. There is one, oh god, I can't even remember what's on that list right now. Oh wow. There's one with Derry and an original character. It's a romance. I love it. I love this song. I love that shit. It's on there. That one's really good. God. Fuck it, I'm checking it. Ugh, you're watching me check my phone, but you know what? Whatever. You asked. I can't use my right thumb because I hurt it. I have like a bunch of cuts on it, so I can't type. Oh, Sticky Leaves. That is the shit. That's not the Dario C I was talking about, but that's a really good one. Muscle and Bone. That one. I loved it. Loved it. Oh, God. I mean, I have a lot of friends on there, and I love all their stories, so that's kind of a given. I'm trying to find stuff not by them. Ooh, Pineapple Fan's really good. I like a lot of their stuff. Some supernatural stuff in here that I have to sift through. Oh god. Going Back Home, that's a Tim Shepard one, and I'm not usually into the Shepards, but that one's really good. 52 Napkins. Super long, super good. It's a one-shot, 16,000 words. Just go for it. It's called 52 Napkins. Just read it. It's amazing. And how did I discover it? I mean, how do most people discover it? You like, you know, you get into something and you're like searching for it online and you just stumble across it. I mean, it's been a long time, so I don't really remember. Okay, what is it like all this time later as a writer? Wow, so I started 2012, 2013. A lot more patient. I used to write really short stuff, and now I can't write anything under 3,000 words. No chapter or one shot is under 3,000 words. We're usually looking between 5,000 and 7,000, if we're being honest. So I've gotten a lot more wordy, for lack of a better word. Yeah, there's that. A lot more patient, a lot more words. I'm impressed by the quality of fics that are out there. There's been a real ebb and flow. So there's kind of dry times sometimes, but I feel like right now, with the current writers we have, I'm really happy with some of the stuff I get to read and keep up with. Yeah, I feel like I've grown a lot, and I feel like there's more and more good stories out there for us to read. How am I alike and not alike Bridget? Well, she's taller. I'm like 5 feet tall. She has black hair and green eyes. I have brown hair and blue eyes. We're both white. But seriously, she comes from a higher socioeconomic bracket than I do. She has experienced, I think, more traumatic things, like the death of people in her school that she knew, and, you know, the whole move, a big move. I've never moved in my life except to move to college. So I've never experienced that, and those have left a big mark on her. I think we're both kind of quiet. I think she's not shy. I'm kind of shy. She's not shy. She's just kind of quiet. And hasn't had a good experience with school. She hasn't been friendless, but moving to Tulsa changes that a lot. And I've just always known the same people. She has not. What else? I mean, we are very different people. She kind of... I gave her my taste in music. And we both play piano. That's about it. I mean, yeah, we're different. Do I have any original work? Yes, I participate in National Novel Writing Month. Past couple years, I've been dedicating it to writing fic, but I do have original work, believe it or not. It's just I end up working on stuff for you guys a little more. Yeah, I feel like a lot of my stuff is kind of got an outsider's feel to it. Actually, funny thing, even my original work, basically all of my fic and all of my original work exists in the same universe. So it's hard to explain, but they all exist together. So yeah, pretty cool. Maybe, I don't know, you might think it's lame. What is my favorite part of working with the Brat Pack 2.0? I just really like them as people. I think they are amazing writers. Like, I was intimidated by them when they, like, came on the scene. But they are just so chill. And we're so supportive of one another. And, yeah, it's just, like, friends. Yay! Any new work? Yes. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, but the one I've made a big dent in is a Thanksgiving story that I plan to finish on, like, publish on Thanksgiving this year, and it's a blast. It is domestic drama. It takes place in 1973, so we've got Steve and Evie as a couple. They're already married. We got Bridget and Two-Bit. They're engaged. And then we have Derry and his girlfriend, Jackie, who some of you might be vaguely familiar with. And then we have Pony and Soda, who aren't quite paired off yet. But it is all just about the crazy Thanksgiving they have that year. And I know it's gonna be another couple months, but I'm very excited to share that one with you guys. I think you're really gonna like it, just because everyone is so pissy with each other, and that's fun to write. It's not all, like, rainbows and sunshine is not always all that fun to write. Drama is fun to write, and, you know, fucking around with people and torturing them mostly. Where do I see myself in the future as a writer? I don't know. Maybe I'll just do this forever. Let's see. Okay. My dream writing job, which is not halfway plausible, but a little plausible. Just because it shows no sign of stopping, is I would love to write for The Simpsons. It is my favorite show, and I care so fucking much about it that I want to fix it before it goes off the air. So I have a plan in my head, but that's my dream writing job. But I write a lot just for fun. I don't really journal, which I probably should, maybe, I don't know. But I don't see it as something I'm going to stop doing. I just don't know what form it's going to take. Alright. What do I think of Greenlight and the Ella Dallas controversy? I think I talked about that earlier. Love Greenlight. Think it's great. It's the best AU I've ever read. And Ella Dallas, I don't know if I call it a controversy, but maybe more of a debate. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so it's cool if you want to see them together. It's cool if you don't. It's cool if you don't care, like I don't care. I just want to see what she does with them. I'm very excited. And I know you guys are too. What is your feel of Beatrice and Vicky now that they're cousins? Okay, well, for starters, someone made a joke about that, one of you guys, and I told Kat about it, and we thought it was so funny. We're like, oh, well, that's canon now. They are the Ice Queens. They are shitty people, at least in this point in their lives. In high school, they suck. And they are a blast to write. They are so fucking mean. They are just, top tier Queen Bees, Regina George, Mean Girls material. They are dicks, and it is so fun to write their comebacks and to write their snarky dialogue and to, right their evil schemes. We try to keep them human, but oh my god, they are they are the evil duo. They're the evil stepsisters. I mean, love them, and even better now as cousins. Guys, it's been 50 minutes. What the fuck? Alright, what is Bridget's relationship to Dallas, and how would it affect her friendship with Ella in the AU? Well, she does not like him at all. They are not friends. He does not like her at all. He doesn't know in the AU about her relationship with his friend. I imagine him finding out about that would not go over well. So in my story, he's dead. He says something to her, to Bridget, that she kind of keeps with her. But they don't like each other there either. But in the AU, Bridget wants Ella to be happy, so if they were in a relationship, she'd be like, okay, grudgingly, probably disapproving a lot, trying to be like setting Ella up with some of her slightly upper class friends, because she just views Dallas as a dick, and rightfully so. Probably doesn't understand why her boyfriend's friends with him, but what can you do? How would it affect her friendship? I don't think it would affect their friendship, but I think they'd still be pals. But she would not be happy about it. If they got together, she would not be happy about it. Alright. Was Bridget supposed to be with Soda? And what changed? Yes, she was. But then I realized that Soda gets a bunch of attention. I'm like, okay, well, 2-bit then. I think there are points you can definitely tell where you know that Soda likes her. And at the, in their sunset years, they are kind of together, if you've read Viva Voce. Because after I killed off 2-bit, which is great, after he dies, they kind of are like, they're like the sweet old people who, like, they're widowed or they haven't been married in a long time, and they just kind of like each other, so they're together. They're kind of like boyfriend, girlfriend, but also just kind of like really good friends who are there for each other. Her and 2-bit's son talks about, at the end of that story, it's like, they might be fucking, but I don't want to know. So, I haven't decided yet if they are either. They might be. I don't know. Maybe they don't want me to know. Maybe they are, maybe maybe they aren't. But, yeah, they were originally supposed to be together, but I just thought we should spread the love. So that's what I did. Whatever happened to Jerry Thompson? That's a good question. People don't ask about him very much. I joked with Lulu, because in her stories, 2-bit is basically the same. I joked with her, and she was telling me, I can't picture him with anyone else but Bridget, but I can't go back and retcon what I've done. And so I told her, well, in your universe, she's married to Jerry. So, in an alternate universe, they're together. But, I think, I think I originally wrote something where they see each other one more time. And I don't think there's any more hard feelings between them, really. I think she could have been happy with him, and him with her, but it be holding her back from true love, even if she's not marrying advantageously. So he goes plays football. I think because I'm from Indiana, he plays football at Notre Dame, because this is fiction and I'm allowed to have my characters dream big. He becomes, like, I think a lawyer, or something like that, or a political consultant, and yeah, he has his own version of happily ever after. I don't think he would go back to Tulsa, but yeah, he doesn't have, like, a bad ending. I haven't thought too much about it, but you know, the two of them, they're okay with each other. He understands her choice, because I mean, they kind of do still love each other and care about each other. So I think he would come to the conclusion that he just wants both of them to be with people who really love them and make them who they really love in return. So yeah, he just goes off and does his thing. I don't really think we're going to hear from him anymore. Not a whole lot. Alright, what is my opinion of Compost Mentis? Dark, but great. I love it. Very, very dark, but very, very good. She really did Angela justice by making her very dynamic, giving her some depth, which I appreciate. How did I meet Happier Than Most? This is Melodrama and Lulu's Garden Flea. Okay, well, Happier Than Most, or Anne, I'd taken a brief hiatus, and she was reading all my stories and leaving reviews, and then she private messaged me, and she was basically like, you need to finish this. So that's how I ended up finishing Sins of the Saints, because she was my #1 cheerleader. She just liked the story and helped me finish it. Lulu's Garden Flea I met next. Lulu, we just kind of started reviewing each other and then talking about each other's stories, and then, you know, just kind of became friends that way. I think her story, both Horse and Driver, and then my story, You're a Good Man, Daryl Curtis, I think that was where we kind of, around the time that those were both going, she was giving me a little nod in that story, Horse and Driver, about Daryl Curtis Sr.'s love of comic books and comics. That is the basis for You're a Good Man, Daryl Curtis, which is uses quotes from Peanuts comic strips, and the title is from the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So I think we started giving little nods to each other's stories, and that's kind of when we became friends. And then This is Melodrama. I think one day I just sat down and reviewed Greenlight, and I'm just like, fuck, I love this story. Why did I not start reading it sooner? And she had read Don't Think Twice a long time ago when she was first involved, and we were just kind of like, oh, that's you. She's like, oh, that's you. And again, we just kind of started reviewing each other, talking to each other, and yeah, that's how we became friends. That's how we met, mostly through reviewing each other and liking each other's stories. We all like each other's stories, so it's kind of match made in heaven. Alright, opinion of God Help the Girls. Well, I helped write it. I love it. I'm very protective of it. Kat and Lulu did a great job on their chapters. Yeah, it's a really solid story. I'm really proud of it and the work we did. Opinion of Evie. Love that bitch. She and Steve, she's our OTP. That's our OTP, Stevie. Ooh, sirens. Popo. There are sirens here like every night. But I live in a college town, so I'm really not surprised. Ooh. I'm gonna digress for a moment. The fire alarms in our building are scary as shit. They sound like nuclear bomb alarms. We had a kid smoking doobies in his room, and he set off the alarm at 4:30 in the morning, so I'm glad he got arrested. Anyway, back to Evie. She gets one mention in the book about her crying when Steve gets hauled in. I think from that point on, everyone's like goner. They're like, oh my god, she loves him. And yeah, I think everyone, pretty much everyone who writes them is like, they get married. I think it's just that little crumb we get, and we just hold on to it. Especially since we get so little of Steve. Plus it rhymes. Stevie, it's perfect. But I think the version we created, I love her. She's tough, she's smart, she's got street smarts, she doesn't take any shit, she knows who she is, and as first tough as she can be, she can also be very understanding and sympathetic, and she loves her family and her boyfriend. And she has questions about who these people who are her friends really are, and she grows and changes. So the version we create, I'm really proud of that. Why do I think Johnny idolizes Dally? I think Dally's got this big built-up reputation. He, is tough. He doesn't take any shit. He's cool under pressure. He's everything Johnny isn't. He's a survivor, and Johnny has to survive too, but I think Johnny wants to be the kind of survivor that Dally is, just lethal and brutal. And I think he just wants to be that. I honestly think Johnny wants to be as stoic as Dally, because then the stuff that happens to him wouldn't hurt as much. So yeah. Okay, and then the other day I reblogged something. It was like one of those character asks things, and like you send in a number and a character, and you answer the question for that character. So I have a few for that. So I have to answer each of these questions for B, 2-Bit, and Dallas. First one is their emotional, moral, weak spots. And I struggled with this one when I was thinking about how to answer it, like what it meant. And I think it means like weaknesses in their morals or character. First one that popped to mind is that Bridget cries all the fucking time, and 2-Bit and Dallas never do. So she's a crybaby, and they are made of stone. I'm on their side. I don't cry. But she's very sensitive, and they are very impenetrable. They are just stoic and tough and kind of mean. Even 2-Bit, because he has to be to survive. I mean, he had to kind of grow up really quick because of his living situation. I mean, Dallas obviously is a dick. He has no respect for the law. And then I think 2-Bit has no respect for authority figures. So those are weak spots too, and then Bridget's a snob. So, best places to kiss on their body. Ooh, steamy. I think Bridget's probably weak for forehead kisses, like, hit her up with that shit. 2-Bit? I had canon that Bridget likes to kiss his scars, like the ones he got in the Rumble on his face and on his knuckles, and then the one he got in Vietnam that I gave him. That's all me. I think he kind of likes when she does that because it's very intimate. Dallas. think you know what I want to say. I think you guys know what I want to say. And I don't want to say it. They all like being kissed on the lips. There, that's perfect. I don't know how old some of you guys are, so there are a few things that I am wary about saying. Fears and phobias. I have a stupid one and a serious one for 2-bit. I think it's 2-bit's stupid one. It's not really a phobia, but I feel like he gets seasick and doesn't like being on boats. But his serious one is abandonment. There you go. Dallas, fears and phobias. What if he has like a stupid one, like spiders, which I'm afraid of, but like he's like super tough. Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say he's afraid of spiders. Bridget, I think she's afraid probably of being alone forever, like an old maid, which I think was a fear of a lot of girls back then, because the pressure to get married was still really high. That was like, you know, we gotta find a good husband. They talk about it in The Help. Like, you go to college, you meet a man, and then you get married. That's kind of what they did then. Girls still do it now, but yeah. And then things they'll never admit. Bridget's not gonna admit to doing anything dirty by herself. Touching yourself for women was an even bigger taboo then than it is now. So if she has any sexual dreams or pleases herself, that is something she wouldn't admit to, probably not even to 2-bit, because I think she'd be afraid of how he views that, because it's just a different time, a different era, and she might think he would think it's weird for her to do that. Something 2-bit would never admit. Well, he saw what I wrote that his dad did to his mom the night he left. And I don't think that's something he's told anyone but Bridget. That he witnessed that, and that his dad leaving had more of an impact on him than he lets on. So I think that. And then Dallas, again, I want to give him something really stupid. What would Dallas not admit to? What if he like really loves cats and like feeds strays? Oh my god! What if he like at Bucks? What if he like little cats come around and he like gives them like milk and shit? Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes, he loves cats. There. Alright. Oof. We are almost there. We are over an hour in. Thanks, guys. I don't talk this much ever. What do I like to do for fun? Ooh. That's a question about me. Okay, what the fuck? Oh, that was asked just a little bit ago. Yes. Let's see. I like to work out. I like to write. Music is a big thing. I'm a music minor. So I listen to music. I play music. As in, like, I play guitar and piano, and I'm learning ukulele for my minor. It's really easy because I know how to play guitar. And I like to sing. I'm very self-conscious about it, but my roommate heard me the other day because I didn't know she was in the room, and she was sleeping and she heard me, and she wakes up and she goes, "Honey, you have such a great voice." And I mean, that makes me really happy, but also like, good job, Abby. Aces. my Broadway career begins now, which is another one of my pipe dreams. I've never said that out loud. But now you know. Other things I like to do. I don't like to party, but I like to go out and do stuff with my friends. Like go out to dinner, go to football games, basketball games. I like that a lot. That way you can like socialize with people. And you know, like I like dancing. Yeah. Catch me in the club. Turning up. What else do I like to do? I love to read. I really like to read, but I haven't had a lot of time to read because college is a bitch. I don't have fun. I'm a robot. Ooh, like I like to draw, doodle a little bit. Yeah, stuff like that. Alright, what gets me in the zone to write? Okay, music is a big thing for me. When I find new music, it really energizes me. So it helps. But music helps set the tones, like to turn on some good tunes and do that. Current events can help me get into it. But sometimes I just have to sit down and do it. Like, I need to write chapter 9. But I don't know if I'm gonna make it. When I'm gonna make that happen. I have it outlined and everything. I just have to do it. And that's part of being a writer, is forcing yourself to write. So if you want to get good, and if you're trying out there to get good at writing, you need to know that a big part of it is sitting down, forcing yourself to do it. It is painful. It sucks. But you do it, and then when you're done, you're proud of what you did. Usually. Usually. Alright. I hope that answered that question. I don't know. What gets me in the zone? Yeah, a lot of times I just have to do it. It's like, I have spare time. I guess I'll write. Because y'all are pushy. Kidding. I love you guys. Alright. How come Dally doesn't really make an appearance in my stories? He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. That's it. And then I have one question. This is the last one, I think. Yes, it's the last one. I have one question I wanted to save for the end. Because it's really hard to answer, and I don't know how to feel about it. It's, did you ever think you'd be this popular? And, I mean, the answer is really no. I don't even know if I am popular in the fandom. I don't know. Like, what surprised me, I actually looked at the demographics for Don't Think Twice the other day, just out of curiosity, and it's had 40,000 hits, which is insane. It's insane. So I never thought anything like that would happen. It's extremely flattering. It makes me feel proud of what I did. But I mean, when I think of popular, I think of like all the shit posting accounts. Like, I love Bad Outsiders ideas, but like, I feel like they have a lot of engagement. I feel like that's a big thing, engagement. So I guess people engage with me a lot. So yeah, that's really cool. And thank you guys so much for engaging with me. Yeah, it makes me feel like, you know, I'm doing this, and you know, it's good that I'm doing this. Like, I'm meaning to ask, like, if you're out there and you're watching this, the person who got God Help the Girls on their school reading list and has like the club for it, how is that going? Like, school's back in session. How's it going? What did people think of it? Did they like it? Please tell me they liked it. Because I know Kat and Lulu would be really glad to hear that too. Yeah, so please tell me what they think of it. Yeah, but all of us are extremely humbled and grateful for your engagement, for your encouragement, for your interest. Sometimes you're overbearing, but we love you. Yeah, we're really glad to have readers like you guys. I know people say stuff like that all the time, but yeah, you guys are great. Thank you for encouraging us, and me. Yeah. Okay, that was all 53 questions. I hope I answered them to your satisfaction. And I actually kind of enjoyed doing this, and I'd like to do it again sometime. Not anytime soon, but because I don't know when I'm gonna be alone. But yeah, thank you so much for sending in questions. But I'm done with that shit now, because I'm gonna read. If you've made it to the end, you're very lucky, because now I'm gonna read that fucking Imagine That Bad Outsiders Ideas posted. I think it's from Wattpad. Oh my god, I can't tell if it's serious or not, but if it's not, it's funny as hell. If it is, it's still funny as hell, but also really fucking bad. It's exactly like that One Direction. Like that One Direction Imagine, where Harry gives the girl his heart. Okay, I'm gonna read this now. I'm probably gonna cut this. I feel like I need to just make a video of me reading this. I could read this 1,000 times, but if you made it to the end, here's your reward. Alright. You were getting... I can't. You were getting vagina surgery. It was necessary, and it scared you beyond belief. What is vagina surgery? You never had surgery before, but luckily your boyfriend, Johnny Cade, was there by your side to calm your nerves whenever you felt overwhelmed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with headcaning Johnny whatever you want, but it's just so badly written, that's all. Johnny, I'm getting vagina surgery. Your voice was shaking, your heart was racing. Unlike you, he spoke calmly. I know. To think of it, you never saw Johnny's dick before. He always told you that he wasn't ready to fuck, with 2 C's, your pussy yet, because his dick, 2 C's, was small and he was insecure. You understood, and as a result, he never got to nut in your butt. Tragic. Yeah, that's the real tragedy here. Time skip, haha. A pointer. Do not put time skip or in the future or any time tags in your stories. I will kick your ass, okay? I will reach to the screen and kick your ass. Alright. You woke up from the surgery. The pain in your vagina was unbearable. But you tried to ignore the feeling. That's what I do on my period. That's what I've been doing the past 3 days. She ain't special. Where's Johnny? You asked your dad, who was sitting in a chair next to the hospital bed you were on. He looked at you surprised and confused. Who do you think gave you the new vagina? Your eyes went wide and you started crying. Johnny was a girl, you screamed, and stayed sobbing because yo man's was a woman. So, and now he was dead. Hey, so you were lesbian? Stay gold. As you can see, this is how I reacted, and this is how Eggman Spearman reacted in response. Oh my god, what are the comments on this? I'm hanging this in my room, says Ask Randy Adderson, okay. Riffy Boy says, oh, so there is no God. True. Jocelyn Lobs Dally said, who even wrote this? I need answers like now. Ponyboy VHS art. She who should not be named one. What the fuck did I just read? Incognito greaser bitch. I fucking hate you. This is so sad. Crying emoji. Reserve greaser. S.E. Hinton who. True. And then Johnny K 007. Not 00. Just one O. Why did I send you this facepalm? Oh, did they submit it? Oh, Johnny K 07. Please. More. Oh my god. I love it. It cuts off at the bottom. It says this was inspired from a meme. I had kind of headcanon that Johnny's actually a girl, which fine, whatever, but this is shit. This is shit, but I love it. More please. Okay, well, I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up, because it's been an hour and 21 minutes, and yeah, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on and then wheeze my way through reading that dumb shit. Alright, well, till next time, guys.